What is XML? XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. It stores and transports data and is human and machine readable. And it has an international standard, which means that no matter where you are in the world, XML will always be formatted the same way. And lastly, it contains things called markup and data. Markup describes what the data is and is found in the form of tags and attributes. Data is simply the data that you want to organize. First, let's take a look at tags. Tags are denoted by angular brackets and have data in between. The opening tag simply has the name of the tag inside the angular brackets, whereas the closing tag has a / followed by the name. Let's take a look at an example. Let's say I want to categorize the Hunger Games in XML. I can make a tag called book, put the title, The Hunger Games, as the data, and then put the closing tag for book, as shown here. You'll notice that the closing tag has a /. This denotes it as a closing tag, as compared to the opening tag, which simply has book written inside the angular brackets. The opening and closing book tags are the markup in this example, and the Hunger Games is the data. It is important to note that the tags are case sensitive, which means that in this example I used a capital B for both the opening and the closing tag. If, for instance, I used a lowercase b for the closing tag, it would not be proper format for XML. Try it yourself. Make a tag and data for your favorite movie or TV show. How about we start by writing it on paper? For me, I chose the movie The Shawshank Redemption. I made the tag called movie and put the title as the data. As you can see here, the opening tag simply has the title of the tag movie, and the closing tag has the /. Both have the angular bracket notation that we mentioned earlier. Next, we're going to be talking about attributes. You can imagine an attribute as data within a tag. Like tags, they have the name of the attribute and a value. The attribute is just listed normally, followed by an equal sign, and the value is listed in quotation marks. The format of a single tag would look a little something like this. You can also have a tag with no data. This is called a self-closing tag, and it has the / at the end. It looks a little something like this. Let's do an example. I really like the board game Clue, so I'm going to make a tag called suspect with the attribute guilty. I'm going to say false as the value, and the data would be the name of the suspect, Ms. Scarlett. Now we could also write this as a self-closing tag, but note that this does not include the data, which in this case is Ms. Scarlett's name. Either one of these would be considered correct in XML notation. Try it yourself. Make a tag called painting with the attribute artist, the attribute value Van Gogh, and have the data be Starry Night. The answer looks a little something like this. Here's a bonus question. What would this look like as a self-closing tag? The answer looks a little something like this. Next, we'll talk about nested tags. Did you know that you could put a tag within another tag? So, if we just use our previous examples, we can nest them in another tag. The tag at the top is called the parent element, whereas the tags within it are called the child element. And these child elements are indented just for proper form and are considered to be nested within the parent element. Try it yourself. Make a parent element called album with the attribute artist and two nested elements called song 1 and song 2. So for me, I made the tag album and the attribute artist as instructed, and I chose Queen. And then for my song 1 and song 2, I chose Bohemian Rhapsody and We Are the Champions. Note that I also indented to make sure that the song 1 and song 2 are formatted correctly to show that they are nested within the album tag. Next, we're going to be talking about XML declaration. This goes at the top of your XML document to basically say that this is an XML document. It starts with an angular bracket and a question mark and ends with a question mark and an angular bracket. XML declarations can have three attributes. The first one is version. This describes which XML version is in use, and currently there is only version 1.0. Second is encoding. This describes the character set in use, so usually it's UTF-8 or ISO-8859-1. I typically use the first, but it is completely up to you. The third attribute is standalone. This answers the question, should outside doc type declarations, DTDs, be included? And the values for that would be yes or no. A doc type declaration simply says what this XML will be used for instance, a website. It looks a little something like this. It's important to note that not all attributes have to be included. Let's bring it all together. Make an XML document to categorize various apps on your phone. Include the titles and the category as an attribute. You can include as many apps as you like. Make sure to start with the XML declaration. You can write this on paper or use Notepad, which is a desktop app for writing code or text. The file format for XML is a .xml file. So this is my sample answer. I say sample because yours will most likely look a little bit different than this, but it should have around the same format. So I started with the XML declaration. I used the attribute version 1.0, followed by the tag app with the attribute category, and for my first one I chose productivity, and name was Senso, and the use for that app would be fidgeting. It's a fidget app, it's on Google Play. That's my shameless plug, go download it. And then for my second app, the category was social media, and the name is Instagram. The use is staying in touch with friends. And I made sure that all my tags are closed and that they are following the naming conventions, meaning they are case sensitive. And I made sure that the tags that are nested are indented as well. So today we learned tags, attributes, nested elements, XML declarations, and the .xml file format. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in your XML endeavors.